Alrighty, hey again everyone. We're back yet again playing some more Minecraft after only a couple of hours. Last time we went ahead and built a moss farm. This time, we're actually going to take a bit of a detour first before going back into hardcore because we're going to be building ourselves a Wither Rose farm today. And it's going to be based off of this. So, I just want to make sure I remember how the hell I even built this. And we are going to go pop over to the end and see if we can recreate this in creative, how I'm thinking I want this to be done. I had mentioned it before, how I want to do a slime-based one. However, I have since decided that that is dumb. That's dumb. And we are going to keep it simple here and just back up a little bit. So let's go ahead and fill in some space. Let's do slash difficulty peaceful for right now, just to give us some extra space to work with. And we will try and get this thing built. This should be a pretty quick, simple build, so I'm not going to stress too hard about it. We're going to keep it very straightforward. And all we're going to do is we're going to have ourselves an Allay silverfish spawner. And it just drops the silverfish down onto some water. They run towards or gets pushed towards the wither, and then they die. And then that's it. That's all you got to have. So, super simple stuff. Nothing difficult to do at all. Just got to sit down and do it. And I guess we could keep the rest of this filled in because this is excess space that we don't actually need. And we should be good. I'm now your background noise. That is cool, Mayor, but I don't remember asking. But yeah, no, it's all good. Let me see here. I'll make sure to scream really loud at one point in the stream, but I won't tell you when it's happening. I'll just like decide that now's the time, and you'll know when you hear it. Don't worry. I assure you, you will know. All right, let's see here. Yeah, it should be like a good enough drop point for it, I would say. You do a little something like this. So it would get dropped right into here, and then you would have a water bucket to physically push them into the wither there, and then you're good. Or at least ideally, that's what we have. I think instead we want it flipped around a little bit differently here, because I really want the water to flow like straight out into there. And the tail is still at 0, 0, so that's fine. Something like that. There we go. Do a little something like that. All right. And then additionally, we can have ourselves a door, I think. We'll use oak. So we'll grab ourselves a nice little oak door here that we can use to get it out of this farm. But nothing else can. There we go. We'll do something like that. This is the drop shoot question. And then additionally, I want to see how this thing works. So we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves some soul sand and a skull. And then we're going to do slash difficulty hard. The reason we want to do all this, by the way, and that we're jumping through all these hoops, is because I am planning on building an actual wither skeleton farm here very soon. Which I'm very excited to see. So if we were to leave it like that, how is this going to fare? Let's also get some glass. I don't think that closes the door perfect. Alright, note that it does break the 3 blocks in the back, so this is our room. We have to stick with this room. That's the size of it. It is what it is. Let's go ahead and get ourselves some glass in here. There we go. And we can give ourselves a little bit more space to work with. And the reason I'm doing this is so that way we can put down a little fence gate here. And then we can get ourselves some water. And get ourselves a lever. Put our water there. They won't die from fall damage. And then we can trigger that to go out when we're ready. And actually, we should probably have it up just a little bit more instead. And have the door out to the side like this. So that way we can't interfere with it with this lever. There we go. So that'll force all of these silverfish to come into one area there, so that should be fine. And I think they'll be aggroed onto it, so we shouldn't have to worry about pushing them any farther than that, frankly. So that should be okay. Additionally, I'm also going to put down like a fence or something there to maybe try and prevent them from fucking up a little bit more. So we'll try that. Alright, and then all we do from here is we literally just build our standard allay farm that we've built in the past. So let's go ahead and get some bits and pieces for this. Wouldn't you want tinted glass or something so you don't get the aggro? Well, see, it's still a solid block, so nothing can aggro at you behind glass like this, so you don't actually have to worry about that at all. And tinted glass is only used for like spawner-based farms and things of that nature that like require it to be dark for things to spawn. But this doesn't, so I don't have to worry about it. Also, the wither's gonna be, its head is gonna be in bedrock, so like it physically can't see me anyways, because his ass is dumb and gonna die. We'll build it out of deep slate. Let's not care too much about it for now. We're gonna build this out of nice, pretty, polished deep slate. Let's get ourselves a slab, some glass again. Let's get that. And then we want a lever. Now I want a gate. Okay, there we go. So we do a little something like that. And then we want a 5x5 platform. Like this. Right? And we'll build these out of glass just so that way we have it. We're going to try to make very sure not to break any of the bedrock, just that way I know for sure how this is going to work in survival, because I really don't want to break any bedrock, except for the nether roof bedrock, which we've already done, so I don't have to worry about that. Alright, here we go. So we would do a little something like this, and then we would get some water. That'll flow all the way to the end like that. And we can additionally install a separate little gate here with a lever if we want to manually have the ability to open or close this. So you can either release all the silverfish in a batch after you spawn the wither, or have like a constant stream, which I think we'll do that instead. We'll have a constant stream of silverfish that flow from the allays, and then they'll fall down into here, and then we'll have the allays keep getting hit with that potion every couple of minutes or so. So that way they're all good and they have a lot of fun. There we go, there's our block. I think I tend to have them on... I'm trying to remember how I did this. I think they were on a slab of some kind. I guess I can look up the tutorial that I used in the past, because that's actually what this is going to be based off of. I'm doing it off of memory here right now, but I know I had saved it somewhere at some point, which I'll put it in the chat so everybody can look at it, because this will be the bit that we actually care about. Let's see here. Where's my playlist? Here it is. Alright, let's see if I've saved this to my playlist. I want to say I have, but it has been quite a while. I saved a variant of it, but I didn't save the one I think I actually ended up using. I don't think... Did I end up using this one? I don't know if I did end up using this one. This is a very well put together video, but I don't think I ended up using this one. Yeah, because this was a campfire-based one instead of the drowning one that I had. Yeah, hang on. I had a different one that so I need to go find that one again. Here we go. This was the one I'm thinking of. And I'm going to make sure to save this to my funny little playlist so I have this for the future. This one was really easy to build. It was easy to get them in here. Okay, that's what it was. Alright, well, here is the link for anybody who is interested as well on building this. Additionally, the reason I'm using this one over the campfire-based one is because this provides the water to push them out, but at the same time, I could probably just do the campfire-based one and just leave them like constantly on fire, and that honestly wouldn't cause too many issues, so I guess we could do that as well. So we'll try, you know what, we'll try the campfire-based one just to be quirky and different. Why not? So I think it goes something like that, and then we get ourselves like some trapdoors. And then literally this is all you would do. Actually, you would have it down a little bit. So you have the trapdoors there. You would have that there, and then you could just have it dump out. So it's literally just a campfire, and we would unlight the campfire before we actually started it. And then once we have all 24 allays in, then we can start it just fine. And then from any of these directions, which we will pick this one, we'll have ourselves a dispenser, like so. We get a dispenser there. And then we get ourselves like a nice little button that we can use. And then we'll make sure that we can fuel this thing too. So we'll get ourselves a hopper and a barrel. We'll put that there, we'll put that there. And then we'll get like a pretty like diamond block or something to put our button on. Here we go. That's what we want to see. So that's how we can restock it with potions. And then it literally is just a box of glass after that. So it still leaves the entire portal fully exposed, which is great. And then otherwise, it is super simple stuff to work with. We shouldn't have any issues with getting allays in and out of here. Or rather, once they're in, we should be okay, and then we can duplicate them, breed them from there. Luckily, I still have those spares that I've saved for all this time, because I saved them for something like this happening. Let's also get some infestation potions, like so. And we'll go ahead and just fill up the barrel. Here we go. Alright. So the allay will be infested, they'll take damage, drop all the silverfish out into the pit, where we then drop them down, and then we're good. So, that being said, we'll go ahead and leave that open. We'll just like break into here by hand to do this, and then we'll go ahead and get ourselves an allay spawn in, and let's do a quick count. Okay, that let them out. We don't want that. Where did that other one go? I know I spawned 4. That's not nice. Oh, I don't know where he is, but he's out in here somewhere. Oh, there he is. You think you can get away from me, but no, you cannot. Additionally, we want that there. And yeah, there we go. Okay. Let's try this again, but better this time. That's 3. That's 6. That's 9. Damn, I wish there was an easier way to do this. Do harming too. Right, you can't accidentally harm them, because that's cool. Oh, man. Well, once you get them in, then all you really need to do is... We might have to do it the other way, as annoying as it is. I think we will. Okay, we're going to do this a slightly different way. So we're going to get ourselves a fence and a bucket of water. This will drown him to death instead, because I'm so humane. Oh. Oh, fuck. I had a hole the whole time. Apparently. That's cool. I know I didn't, like, make a hole up there, but apparently they fucking went through anyways, because they're awesome like that. That's nice. Why are you so annoying to work with? Get the hell out of here. I can't hurt you because you're not my guy. You are my guy. Oh my god, you can't despawn these things easy either. It's much easier in survival because then you just rely on like a light duplication for it instead of like spawning them in with like spawn eggs. So I think I just need to like physically look at the fence post a little bit more directly. Or not, apparently. Yep, because that knocked him out anyways. Cool. Neat. Alright, maybe we can get a piston and like push it down or something once we're done. I don't know. Damn. Back in here, man. I could probably do like slash summon or something. Additionally, this does not give me... You guys are just annoying, you know that? I hope you fucking die. Seriously. Why are these things so damn annoying? Alright, well that's not gonna work. Guess you could just have them closed off like that. And then have like a wall instead of a fence. And then maybe like a slab instead. So does this work? It looks like it. That got most of them in there, but I did just see one of these fuckheads fly out. How are you guys flying out? No, that makes no sense. Come on. Stay in the hole, man. Stupid ass bastard. I'm gonna guess it's because of that glass and they just do not play nice or give a fuck about glass like that. But they're still flying out. Dude, how? It's a solid block above your head. You can't fly out like that. It makes no sense. Come on. They all fucking do that. That's nice. God, I fucking hate these things. And there's no easy way to get rid of them either. Oh my god, and then you have to have an empty hand to fucking get rid of all their shit. God, what annoying pieces of shit. Can't just spawn them easy. Alright, let's try this with a better block then. Yeah, they spawn halfway in the block because the wall, that's what annoys me, but fine, we'll do it like this then. There. That should definitely keep them intact. So finally, it killed one of them at least, so they should be okay. And then all I really do from here is get some water. That's nice. There we go. Okay. Then they should start drowning. Just what we want. Do slash difficulty hard. This is already on. Okay. This is all we want. Because we don't want this for XP at all. This just needs to, like, exist. So now what we go ahead and we do is we get ourselves some soul sand. We get ourselves a wither skeleton skull. And we will have these in our inventory. It'll start to spawn silverfish that then fall down here. It also looks like the silverfish can in fact get nudged out a little bit more than I would like. So we're going to do slash difficulty peaceful. Get rid of all of them. Or rather, why don't we literally just have a glass block that forces them to stay in the water a little bit better. Let's try hard. Let's get our door back again. That's much better, okay. So now, with this, we can go ahead and start stockpiling all of these guys. We can't have the gate there. Because of course we can't. The gate can't be there, it has to be here. Damn it. Oh, that's annoying. Alright, let's try this again. So we're on hard. So these guys are going to start trying to attack the wither. Additionally, we're going to just turn down our volume just off. So, and this is also another thing I guess I'm worried about, is the fact that I don't think they're getting enough height to physically piss off the wither. Go and get some farming. There we go. Okay, and then that seems to be killing them a little better. I saw a wither rose. Alright, then we're gonna do slash tick sprint one day. And then we're gonna just go ahead and sit in a corner here. See what we can collect. We got 3 stacks of roses here. This is also something too that if I were to make sure that this is constantly fueled, and it should be fine. Let's also get some Harming 2 potions again. because ideally I would like to keep the wither healthy, but I'm not sure how viable that's going to be. Oh, and it looks like we can heal it with harming. The problem is it takes a lot of harming to heal it, and then at that point I'm killing it. So, I could have hoppers for the ground, but I'm working up to that point. It just takes time. I'm just gonna have like one hopper down here in the corner because that'll be like the collection point that this is gonna happen at. So that should be okay. But and maybe I should have water on the other side. Yeah, okay, now I know how I want to get this angled then. Okay, I know exactly how I want to do this now. Alright, so let's get some water. Wither's dead, which is good. And additionally, we're gonna get rid of that. So what it's gonna try and oh no, that would have been perfect, wouldn't it? Shoot. Um hmm. Yeah, I could. Oh, yeah, I could have it. Well, because they also the tough part too though is they have to physically collide with the wither for the wither to be close enough to kill them. That's the problem. So if they're not close enough to it, it's not going to matter at all. We'll put some sound on. Let's get some soul sand. Let's just try this first. We haven't tried it yet, like formally, so I'm still trying to just brainstorm all this kind of stuff. So we'll see how this ends up actually going. But ideally, we could just do something like this. So, I mean, I can waterlog the gate, but the problem is too with the flowing water in the back. That's the main issue. So, I mean, I guess I don't actually need the gate here technically. So I guess we could just get rid of it altogether. And it would do something like this. So if I were to throw an item down, it looks like it's made its way into the hopper. So that should be fine. So, okay, like on paper, this thing works. I also am going to have like a sticky piston out in the ground to physically block this off. So that way we don't have any issues. So we're going to go ahead and do that. There we go. Let's get ourselves a sticky piston and a lever. There we go. We'll do a little something like that. And then literally we just need like a little piece of redstone dust and then we're good. So we can control this a little bit nicer. The reason I have to have some kind of control switch is for the actual wither. So I need to be able to set the wither up in relative peace here. Now it doesn't want to spawn. Why has it decided it doesn't want to spawn? Is it because of the water? It's because of the water, right? Okay. So I will have to probably hook up a dispenser with water, which is fine. It still work with that pretty well. No, it's in a, oh, right. It actually, nope, it's on hard. So no dice there. Good try though. All right, let's go ahead and do that. There we go. And then we just need some redstone dust. And then it's literally just something like super simple like this. And then we get a button. It'll make all that flow, which is good. Okay, so now if I do that, I do that, I do that, and now if I do this, now it spawns. Do something like that. Now I go back up to the farm and I give it another kickstart. Stockpile there. They are taking damage. think. Yeah, they are taking damage and dying from it. It is just a little slower. But as you get more silverfish to pile in here, though, they push each other into the wither, and it does its job. It does, however, look like I'll need to install more hoppers. And then we'll go into spectator mode here. And there's no wither roses on that corner. It looks like they do get pushed in, so I just would have a couple of hoppers there. And then this works. So however many silverfish we produce will eventually get turned into wither roses. And additionally, all of the water will keep them flushed down. And then all I really need to do is have this set up so that way I know how many potions I need to use or that I can use per wither. So we're just going to let it run and do its thing for right now. I think that'll be fine. And I just want to know if one single potion will last like the entire thing. I don't think it will. So we're basically just keeping a lookout until they stop spawning silverfishes are going to be our big thing. So we're going to be waiting a while here. And I don't want to risk running like a tick sprint and fucking anything up either, so... And we can tell how it's doing based off of these infestation particles that are up here. So you can see how they're spitting out a bunch of these like silver like particles, so this should be fine. And it's made it to the halfway point now. Now that it's at the halfway point, we'll probably need to do 2 potions per cycle if we want to produce as much silverfish as we can per wither. Because that's the other thing too, so that's the main metric we're measuring this by, is how many withers I can use. Or rather, how many silverfish I can generate per wither. So now it's gone. So we had to use it about 2/3 of the way through, which is still fine, because that still is like a pretty good value for like the amount of silverfish we're getting, so that's okay. I'm alright with that. Additionally, maybe we could use a magma block instead of a slab, because that'll force the allay down a little bit more, and by extension that'll push all the silverfish out a lot better. I don't think this will kill the allay either too. Probably. We'll know for sure here pretty soon, because if they were, we would know by now. Yeah, I think they're okay. Or maybe it's just because they're taking so long to die, who knows. So again, we've used 2 potions up to this point, so we should be fine. And I wonder, can I see how many entities are in one area with my current F3 setup? I don't think I can. Nope. I'm just going to have to hope and pray that 24 of them are actually in there. Alright, Wither's going to die here in a moment. Alright, so the Wither dies. This also means that the farm is going to keep producing silverfish as well. So we will have to have No, yeah, that's not right. There should have been way more. All these guys should have died. So we're gonna do slash difficulty peaceful. Oh well, hey, what do you know? Well, that's still only another stack and a half of roses. That still doesn't account for how many were in there. Physically didn't get murked by the wither, so that's no good. Maybe it would be best if we had the hopper line up like this or something, because it will physically push them into the wither at some point. Like their fat asses are gonna hit this wither, whether they want to or not. They're gonna hit it. That also means too that we're gonna take this out. If only I could like rush them into it a little bit more tightly, that would be useful. But with how this is done, I don't think I can. I don't think I have a way to lure them into the wither better, and I can't necessarily push them into the wither either. So, unless, do piston heads break when the wither's here? Because maybe I could have like a wall of pistons that pushes and like shortens the area that they can flow into, or something fucked up like that. Let's try this again. So let's get some soul sand and a skull. Let's put that back up. Damn it, I broke my door. Dang. Oh well. Let's do that. Let's do difficulty hard. Split that. I also eventually want a button that triggers that dispenser, so that way I don't have to keep coming back up and down here, but I'm not gonna worry about that. Additionally, too, let's do slash difficulty peaceful. So I also wonder if maybe, what if they were raised instead? We're gonna clean that out afterwards. Maybe they're not physically, because they're so damn short, they're not actually reaching like anything well enough. We'll leave that there. So I wonder if I were to fix that by installing some walls, because walls are not like a full block, but they have a hitbox that extends above it. So if I were to have like a chunk of walls here, water can still flow over it properly. And then I could do something like incredibly fucked up like this. And then I would have like a different type of wall to show that this is where I would have to spawn the wither. That's all the obsidian is for, is just to show where I can do that. So that doesn't need to be here per se. And then literally it's just this kind of box, right? And then water still flows over it properly, which is good. And then we can kind of just go through and like manually pick up items. So I'm not really too worried about that. Or alternatively, we can have the output be in the back here in some capacity, and then just have like a door that we can physically push up against and pick all this shit up or something. So we'll see. Also, I'm curious if I had like a bed of hoppers down below, if this is gonna matter or make a difference. reason I want hoppers down here is because items could fall through the gaps on these walls, and I'm a little worried that that's going to fuck everything up, so we would want a bed of hoppers to make sure that we could salvage everything. And then just do like something like this. There we go. Again, if we need to, we can physically be the person to come out here and pick shit up. We're going to clear out our inventory. We're going to do soul sand and skull. I want to make sure that I have no roses here. Slash difficulty hard. They're out of potion. I don't see him dying. Remember, we emptied that out. Maybe the block the wither itself is on should also be like sunken in a little bit more. Like if I were to get like a mud block, for example, then I find my way down into here. Rat. We're gonna do peaceful for now. It blew up all my walls and shit because I let it down, so whoops, my bad. I think the idea is still there though. It just needs to be executed a little better. So, a couple of things. Let's go ahead and get all that water out and put all of these hoppers back. All that back up. There we go. Wall again. Let's get ourselves a deep slate wall. We don't care what kind of deep slate it is. The deep slate tile looks more withery. So we'll do that. There we go. Oh, right. And actually we want to make sure that that's there. Slash difficulty hard. The initial explosion has caused a couple of small issues. Okay, luckily it didn't do any permanent damage to the farm, but the initial explosion caused issues because it was now too low. So the mud was not the best idea here. It cannot be on anything other than a full block, no questions asked. So, whoops, minor mistake. We can still fix this fine. It's just really annoying that this happened though, but we can still fix this fine. I do think, however, it should still be on a block like that. Just because we need to keep things simple. All of our glass and shit is gone now, which is really lame. So we're going to have to manually rebuild some of this here for a little bit to fix this damage, which, hey, this is why we're doing it in creative and not survival, right? So that way we can actually test shit out, and we can make mistakes, and it's okay. There, that goes there, there, there. Something like that. Out of that. Okay.